but within like the Android or iOS app, you're not appearing as live.
Uh,
There's some kind of weird
I'm
bug
not. I'm
going
not
on.
on Twitch right now. Twitch. I hit the stop stream button by mistake. I'm back on Twitch now. Sorry. Sorry about that, folks. I'm gonna have to repeat everything I just said. Well, anyway, we're in the middle of a set. We just started. Now that we're back on Twitch. But yeah, today's subject matter is heavy exaggeration. Sorry about the technical difficulties there, folks. So I probably placed these feet wrong, but whatever. I'm just playing with it. I want to start playing with these figures like putty. I'll start inserting elements of perspective into them. Wow. The bitrate's pretty bad on Twitch right now. Let me see if shutting down Oh, I'm streaming both Astropug and this at the same time, so that's probably one of the reasons why I'll shut down Astropug. One of the things you want to start working towards when you're doing your figure drawing is that you want to start feeling like the figures are like three-dimensional pliable putty. You can see that in play with a lot of Trad Moore's art, for sure. I actually have been familiar with his work. I just wasn't really conscious of just how fucking good it was. I knew he was good. I mean, I've seen like the Ghost Rider stuff and some of the Silver Surfer and that stuff, but I wasn't really conscious of him as an artist until very recently. So I turned him into my muse yesterday. I'm going to be digging a lot more into contemporary comic artists. So there's a lot of good stuff to go through for that. I love how he plays with the figure though, like his stylized legs and thighs in particular. It feels very rooted in like Bern Hogarth books. Anyway, yeah, jump in on the Twitch stream if you can. Let's get that viewer count up a little bit. If you're on Discord right now. Also, if anyone could do me a favor, let people in Ethan's server know if in any of the active voice channels or the text chats that I'm doing a figure drawing set right now, like the Art General or something. Just link it and let people know. Let's get some more people in on this. I might do it myself. Let's get some people to be less art lazies. Yeah, like the way I'm drawing like already feels like very different from even how I was drawing like on Wednesday. Like that's the difference of what like relentless practice and like sometimes taking a look at like other cool art can kind of help you click with something. There's multiple things that that I was looking at, some of which I'll talk about a little bit later. But one of them was of course Trad Moore. We're also looking at Peter Chung a lot. And the Aeon Flux shorts and other things. I also looked at a comic called The Auteur, which is getting an HBO Max series adaptation. It's like a really gonzo horror. It's a gonzo horror comedy about a scumbag movie producer. and it kind of blurs lines between. It's like really, really ultra violent and graphic and gory and psychedelic and hallucinogenic and stuff. And hilariously satirical and stuff. Yeah, we've been putting in some really good practice time in the the not on Discord stream. I mean the not on Twitch stream Discord time this week. There's been a lot of people showing up for those study sessions, and we've been getting a lot out of them. Like yesterday was really fun. Oh, and this morning we actually did a figure drawing set with Glenn Vilpu on that live stream that the New Masters Academy thing was doing. That was really fun too. I got a lot out of that. I'm gonna pay attention for those. They had another one last week, and there's gonna be another one next week. I hope it would be cool if New Masters did more stuff like that. That's free and that's open for everyone, you know.
Is it?
Honestly, though, if they have like a pay version of that, where they just do like model sets with a figure drawing instructor talking about stuff, I would pay for that myself. I probably would not restream it in here, just cause, you know. But yeah, I mean, like, look at this guy right here on screen. You can kind of sort of, after like looking at kind of Trad Moore's art, you can kind of sort of visually detect a little bit of how Trad would exaggerate the figure and stuff. A little bit. I'm maybe not going to draw the whole thing, but you kind of get the idea. But there's a tremendous amount of distortion already built into this figure. So there's actually not... You actually don't really need to do too much to make this distorted or exaggerated, but you can play with it more. Also, I have a thing to share a little bit later in the stream. I played The Forest. I had to play, as people know, I left early for a play date with some game devs. Where we played The Forest for like an hour or two. Chet Falziak, who's a veteran Valve writer on the Half-Life series and other things, he's got his own independent game studio called Stray Bombay, and he does like co-op game streams that I've been playing in with him and some other folks in his Discord, and it's been a real blast. And we did some funny stuff last Wednesday. I'll share a couple highlights at the end of this stream with y'all. I can link the video of the stream for folks a little bit later. But it was a real big blast, and there was a lot of really funny. Like Chet actually Chet chopped down a tree to crush the small starter hut I made for us. And there was like another part where like they all like piled in to build a houseboat, and then the houseboat immediately like glitched out and was destroyed after they spent like 10 minutes gathering all the wood for a giant houseboat. Yeah, you can see like I'm starting to feel a little bit more confident about this stuff. Like eventually, like I think what's going to happen is there's going to be kind of a singularity with my practice efforts a little bit, where I can build in more of the anatomy into the gesture and the shape that I'm doing, which is sort of, there's a little bit of that starting to gel now with even these, just a bit, not anything huge. But like this is just like the result of me just drawing a lot every day and trying to refresh my eye with interesting things or study materials. So I'm not stagnating with just trying to repeat the same approach to sketching over and over again, like I would often do in the recent past. So I can be a lot more diligent about pacing out my time and studies. It feels good, man.
It's good.
Looks like we only got 5 viewers in the Twitch, but there's like 17 people in the Discord. Oh well. It's kind of weird. It's not a big deal because you know what? It doesn't. Like I do want to grow the Twitch channel, but you know, I don't give a fuck because you know it's all about how good I get. If I turn into a really fucking good artist from the sheer amount of practice, like people are gonna show up. So let's not. So I shouldn't dwell on that. So it's not a big deal. Also, because like I kind of did the technical difficulties thing, there's probably some people that would be in there if it weren't for that. No word back yet, sadly, on the storyboarding class I signed up for. The storyboarding class I signed up and waitlisted for. One of the 2 classes is starting tomorrow, actually, that I waitlisted on. So I'm probably not gonna hear back from that. I mean, who knows? They might let me like do a late start in a class if there's someone who leaves something, but yeah. Oh yeah, you guys want to watch WandaVision after the stream? I think we should do that. Yeah, stick around for that. We'll check out what latest episode of WandaVision is. So I want to know if there's like there's been any recent Marvel animation that's tried to capture Tradd Moore's some of Tradd Moore's art style. He's got more than one art style though. His most recent one is that really super psychedelic approach. Love to see an animation that's kind of based on his style. The Tradd Moore Ghost Rider getting a film adaptation would be really nice, though. It's a Ghost Rider. It's a version of Ghost Rider where he's a custom race car driver instead of a motorcycle.
Isn't that Robbie Reyes?
I think so. It's really badass too. Yeah, I'm just gonna try to find your artistic spirit animal of the moment. Basically, right now that is Tradd. Right now for me that is Tradd Moore. Look at that Batman. Batman martial artist there. Also, there's like an Alex Gray homage image in there somewhere that was like for a comic cover. So a lot of what he's drawing, like some of it is homages to things, like because I recognize the poses and it's like intentional homage for some of them. A little inventory of figure stuff. I'm going to be going back and forth between from doing figure invention, quick comp drills, and the on-screen reference, because I've been clocking in a lot of observational figure drawing, and I did this morning too, so I have the freedom and the luxury to do that a little bit more. Those of you who are getting more warmed up should definitely be following the model a bit more. This is a great image right here to do a 4D action study with. Be cool if I I was talking about, like, I'd love to see like an animated attempt at like animating something that kind of is sort of Fradmore's style, his more kind of psychedelia style. And I'm thinking, yeah, maybe I could try doing that as like a personal growth exercise or something. If I really do go full spirit animal with him. That might be good.
You mean like doing an animated chart?
What's that?
Like doing an animated short of the?
Just like a short animation test, not like a full short. I mean that would be like, we're talking like months of work, but like I'm talking like something that I can do in like a week or two. It's like a month, like a style test, developing kind of. Okay, Google, stop. But I'm really enjoying it. Like, that's the other thing. Like, this regular practice I put in, like, it's kind of become sort of a thing where athletes kind of know this, or if you're in pretty good exercise shape, when you start, like, clocking in the effort every day, it starts feeling good to hit the gym or step out into, like, I don't know, the basketball court, or step out on your skateboard or surfboard. So it's feeling good to get out there and hit your stride, because like the endorphins flow and you feel yourself, you can feel and see yourself progressing and stuff. And so it's not fatiguing as much, and it's easier to get stuff out of you. And it's easier to it's not as stressful. I mean, you're putting more effort in, but it's not as stressful because it's like a lot of the gunk got cleared away or something.
You need a lot less mental energy as well.
Yeah. Let's pause on these guys here. What is this? Is that CG? I believe that's CG right there. Looks like it's CG to me. Yeah, that's CG. Nicely post CG though. So yeah, like this is like a big glow up from my last from our last episode. Let's take a look at the progression from last Wednesday real quick. So this is where we left off last Wednesday. It's a little flimsy. I'm playing with stuff. Still kind of finding my voice a little bit. It's not that huge a deal. I don't have the oomph behind me because I wasn't looking at artists to give me that extra oomph, you know? Just kind of run mostly out of my own head. But I was still using my observational skills and stuff to really capture the line of action, the gesture, and the movement, and try to pay attention to it in 3 dimensions. So because I did that, and I struggled with it, that lets me read, so that opens like my third eye to being able to look at like Trad Moore's work and other artists that I was looking at and start vibing with it, and then I start being able to do fun, wild figure inventions. Like, look at how distorted this character is right here. Like, this is what it's trying to play with, seeing how much I could break my Goblin character. I think I actually would maybe draw him like this for like a panel in a comic book at some point. Because like I was looking at Trad War stuff where he like really plays with warping and exaggerating things. And some of it gets really goofy and strange, but like intentionally. And I really enjoy that. So I'm playing with this. And there was like also the auteur. I'm gonna have to be really selective about how much I show of the auteur because there's a lot of adult content in it. I'm not too worried about the violence, but the nudity, maybe. But I think the best way to get an impression of what the auteur is like is to just look at the cover. Let's maybe, I'm thinking maybe, let's put this guy. I actually want to make a desktop background out of just like a close-up of this guy's face. But let's put that over here.
Hashtag new server icon.
Let's put that over here, and like actually we can't see him now because I'm doing the full Cintiq page right now. But let's see here. Yeah, there he is. Just zoom in on him a little bit. Just people come in here get really confused. Okay, Google, set timer for 3 minutes.
3 minutes. Starting now.
We'll start a new set after 3 minutes, and I'll talk a little bit more about exaggeration. That's nice. Yeah, I just joinked all these. This is an incomplete file. There's a bunch of other Tradmore stuff I'm planning on yoinking into it, but here you can get the 1.0 version of this file. I'm going to upload it into the Drawing Corner chat. Yeah, wow, 18 people. Yeah. Let's see here. Artists, Tradmore. There we go. So that's a PureF file for the people that are new here. In order to read that file, you have to download the PureF app. I'll link that in chat. Also, those are some nice gestures, value. Raboots. So some nice gestures, although like your general sense of structuring and stuff in the figure is kind of not there yet, but I see you playing with the line of action, and that's good. I'd maybe roll it back to just concentrate on the line of action, like the first, and that would be fine. That would be helpful for you. You can play a little bit with adding in some stuff, but I think like without having the understanding of like the 3D that you're pushing, it's going to kind of hold you back a little bit. So I would just kind of maybe take out some of the detail and just concentrate put way more emphasis on just the line of action, without worrying about putting in muscles or things like that. Like think back to like the line of action and the shape exercises that we did from weeks back. I think those would help you the most right now. But then again, these are just warm-ups, and I see Gus getting warmed up. Yeah. It's a whopping 85 meg file. Jesus Christ. I bet my bitrate is tanking right now on Twitch. Wow, yeah, it is. I'm gonna let's see here. Stream quality. Let's maybe put on 15 SPS and 720. That might help a little. That helped a little, just a teeny bit, for the Twitch stream. Anyway, that'll be downloading right now. PureF, I'll link that in Twitch chat right there. Okay, Google, stop. And if you want to join the Discord to be part of the voice in real time, that's the Discord link right there in Twitch chat. So we're going to be getting started on another figure set shortly. Just let me... What a warm-up page. Like, that's a big difference from warm-up pages of other days. So we'll get started on another set. Another set of two-minute poses. Okay, Google, set timer for 20 minutes, 30 seconds.
20 minutes and 30 seconds. And we're starting now.
All right, so I'll try to talk a little bit about what we're emphasizing tonight. And that is, of course, like heavy exaggeration. And this, of course, builds on the stuff that we've been doing for the last week with thinking about the figures fourth dimensionally and three dimensionally. Like, if you miss those, it's not a big deal. You can still vibe by observation with this, but some of those are going to be kind of missing stairs for people. Just a little bit, but I mean, like, the power of observation, of getting into figure drawing and playing with and struggling with something, and getting some mileage in, sort of overrides any missing stairs you might have. I think the stream beats might be a little loud. Turn that down just a little bit. So this is still kind of the warm-up set, but I'm going to try to see if I can push things in the direction of exaggeration that I was talking about. So I'm drawing pretty big right now, but one of the things Glenn Villepeu actually talked about that is actually something I want to use a little bit more this evening is the idea of doing a thumbnail comp of the figure where you work out some of the gesture and you figure out some of the drawing issues with like a small, quick version of the figure. Basically, before you do another version of it, you might do like more than one version of the same pose. You might hold on the pose for like 20 minutes and just do like multiple versions of it and really spend a good time meditating on it and stuff. Which is kind of what they did this morning. It was a different pace from what we usually do here with these 2-minute quick poses here. So we might do some of that in the last couple figures that are going to be done. That are going to be as part of the set today. So let's see what I can do with this guy right here. So for exaggeration, like, there's different strategies you can use to go about it, but a lot of it comes down to like taking what's there and playing with it, playing with going beyond it and pushing it a bit, or changing it in some way. Like, it could be involved like shrinking and growing certain parts, emphasizing the rhythm of this or that, or playing up the rhythm of this or that. So I'm going to try doing like drawing a little bit smaller here. But you can see exaggeration at play a lot in Tradd Moore's work. There's some other stuff that he did from the recent Spider-Man 850, which involves one of my current Tradd Moore has drawn one of my current new favorite Marvel characters, which is a psychedelic wizard dog named Tina Foreshoes, who barks with Roger Dean font mystical orfs. Like, their bark is orf, like ORF. And she's now buddies with Spider-Man. She's just a cute little talking doggo with who wears little booties and has like a wizard witch. It's like a wizard or witch hat and a cape. And they come from a magical alternate reality fantasy world that Spider-Man gets sucked into. That's where she comes from. She's kind of like Doctor Strange, but if doggo. A little bit.
So Doctor Strange, but better.
Yeah. In fact, that's literally what an article on it said. Like, Tina Four Shoes is better than the current Doctor Strange right now. and I got to show you the art for it because Trad Moore, like, he went like super wonky. Like he made it like really kind of like hippie psychedelic 1960s. Slightly Yellow Submarine, slightly like Roger Dean Yes album covers. I swear that I think there's a little bit of like the Electric Company Spider-Man somewhere in there, but it's really super playful and it's like it's really fun. My impression of it is like this is like maybe how how a dog would see the world a little bit, or an intelligent dog would see the world. So tomorrow's gonna be more of this for our class. I think just maintaining momentum of what we do throughout the week will be the name of the game. It's gonna be an Ethan Becker server again, and we'll be building on what we're doing today for tomorrow for the 2:30 p.m. class. And I'll be maybe even talking a little bit more about Tradmore being my spirit animal. But we are gonna probably look at some more storyboarding stuff. It would be a good idea to dip into that a bit more, I think. Starting to autopilot a little bit on these poses, but I'm still feeling like the rhythm. I have my general intuition with rhythms on these poses is a lot stronger than it was earlier in the week now. I can definitely feel and see the difference. So even my autopilot feels a little bit stronger. So maybe point the corner, so maybe like make the corner of her shoulder even more jutted out. That can be potentially a strategy to slightly exaggerate it. So yeah, I think what we might do for another set is like put it on 5s or 10s or something, so we have a lot more time to really play with exaggerating. So the next set might be 5s or 5s or 8s or 10s. That'll give us lots of time to play freely. The biggest difference I do notice about like drawing every day, it like clears out the nervous noise from your head, and also I get my line control has improved a lot because of like all the practice I'm putting in. Like I'm able to get like more of what I intend to put down with less nervous scribbly effort. Like you notice like the way I'm drawing right now is a lot cleaner. It's because I got like that dirty nervous energy out of my system. It's okay to draw dirty. It's okay to draw scribbly. They have to be productive scribbles, and by virtue of you struggling a lot, eventually you start getting cleaner because it's like you start clicking with, instead of making about 20 bazillion lines to get this idea down, I just make like a 2 or 3 or something, or just 1. Like you start clicking. It's like your sharpshooting aim starts improving a little bit. And what can help you find that heading is if you're looking at Artist Set. become your muse a little bit, like looking at trad more for me. I'm going to try playing a lot with how he plays with legs this evening. So you'll see me kind of doing this sort of loopy thing, which one of the reasons why I made him my spirit animal is some of the ways that he's playing with the bodies is not that far off from how I've instinctively kind of exaggerated poses in figure drawing classes. So it's good when you find a muse. It usually should be something that's like a logical complement to whatever you're trying to do. I have no idea what's happening in this image, but this is pretty good comic reference, I would say.
Seems like something out of Borderlands right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but with the Naruto run.
Oh no, the psychos are learning. They'll take over the world now.
We'll start a meat bicycle factory. I'm not totally sure what's happening with his legs, but it looks like it's like severely foreshortened. Like this leg is the calf is probably like way back behind there, and like really getting like the barest indication of a calf here with the foot coming down here. You can see a lot of what I'm doing is I'm playing like rhythms against each other and stuff, and this goes back to like, remember that thing with like the jump rope and also like the overall thrust or the shape of a drawing. Or the, you can contain the pose as a single unit. Like, if you think in those terms, you can get kind of, as you start, like, struggling with that idea in your drawings. And especially if you look at artists that pull it off, like Trad here. Because these poses are heavily driven by gesture that thinks of the pose as a singular unit. Like you can see, oh, that's how it comes together, and you start vibing with your own work. Like, it's like you don't have to. It's like it's kind of like, you know, when you're driving a car and you don't really think about doing every single manual action because you're so used to how everything controls and stuff. It's like I don't have to think as much about like these kind of auto controls of line and gesture. I mean, I still do, but like instead of struggling at like the lowest level of controlling what I'm trying to do, like I have like an overall, like without even really thinking about it as much, I have like an overall sense of the pose. That I'm just kind of like always it's like subconsciously reading. Without, it's like, but because I've been like observing so many poses and trying to think of them in those terms, like it starts to become second nature. So like the way I draw now is that it's just like, this is like this is gonna seem like hopefully like the way I'm drawing now is gonna seem like really crude in like a month or maybe even like a couple weeks, depending on how much effort I put in. Oh, that's neat. What's cool is like my visual reading is a lot stronger now, so like I can look at these and I can make a little bit more visual sense of them. than I could previously. I can see how like this is like I can like see the perspective in those figures a lot better and the volumes. Let's do a quick copy study. Another thing I like about that drawing constantly does is it kind of like eradicates your imposter syndrome. Even if your skills aren't quite there yet, like the feeling that you're reading and growing stuff and growing in your skills, like you don't feel as anxious about it. So my skills aren't there yet, but like I'm feeling like I've kind of got the right heading for what to practice right now. And the ability to find additional stuff that's going to help me to study it. Like I'm starting to get like a faith in that. Okay, Google, how much time left on timer?
You've got 4 minutes and 15 seconds remaining.
So I got about 2 more poses. These are a little bit of a curveball. So just some Korean figure drawing guide stuff. For like manga figure drawing, anatomy, and physics and stuff. Physics of the body. I'd love to find translated versions of these. These are pretty great images. I'm starting to wander away from my spirit animal up there in the corner, so I'm gonna refresh my eye a little bit with zipping through this. I really love that Black Panther right there. That really wild Spider-Man versus Venom pose right here. The limbs are like really exaggerated curves. I'd love to find out like what Trad Moore was like really getting inspired by for a lot of this stuff. Like I can definitely see like Bern Hogarth influence in these. Like a lot of these kind of feel like him trying to like really like take Bern Hogarth and like run with him to like astronomical extremes. But there's a lot of other little influences in these that I'm seeing that that I'd be interested in finding out how I can pin down the sources of, you know. So we'll do a 5-minute set after this. 5-minute, maybe a 10-minute set too. Or maybe some I want to try what Vilpu did this morning, maybe for the last 2 sets we do this evening. Where we just have one pose for the whole set. But we have like ample time to like kind of plan for it and so on, like get some comp studies down. Sort of losing the dynamics here because I'm getting kind of caught up in structure. Not really exaggerating this pose very much. That's okay. I kind of wanted to detour into this. This like might be like a first sketch I do before I try to do another take at it. This would be like something along the lines of like a quick comp. Like, and the comp gives you the ability to kind of take your first stab at the drawing before you do another version of it or something. You usually do them really small. Okay, Google, how much time left on timer?
18 seconds to go.
We'll just pause it on this then. So we're going to be on a 5-minute break. Okay, Google, set timer for 5 minutes 30. Yeah.
Second timer for 5 minutes. And that's starting now.
Okay, Google, stop. Okay, Google, add 2 minutes to timer.
Done. 2 minutes added to your timer.
Cool. Yeah, these are feeling pretty good. So like I think like a good way to approach exaggeration is sometimes you really try pushing things and then you reel it back in, and then you push it more and then you reel it back in. So then you're not like overdoing it to the point that you kind of really lose sight of of like figure proportions and things like that. So you have like something to ground off of. These are really fun though for the first set. Yeah, Aganima is actually playing with some pretty good stuff here. I'd say that this is an improvement actually on what you posted. Well, no, you didn't post anything earlier. Okay, never mind. Yeah, Rabbit's is trying to go back. They're doing a little bit more of trying to emphasize the line of action. Like I said, I think I'd want to maybe like see you concentrate more on the line of action stuff, definitely. Yeah. We're going to be doing some longer poses now that'll give you some time to take multiple cracks at the same pose too. Let me set that up real quick. We'll make 5-minute poses for the next set. There, pause. Let's pick one to start with. That's a really nice pose. We've done that one before, I believe. That's really cool. It's not a martial arts pose, but it's a good pose. Yeah, let's have a look at my spirit animal right here again. But yeah, like what I'm talking about with like, there's multiple influences at play here with this kind of psychedelic style that he's taking. Well, I mean, first off, like obviously these old original Silver Surfers, and some of the more prestige comic Silver Surfers that they did, like I think in the 80s or something. But there's multiple influences I'm seeing in this. There's a lot of 1960s kind of stuff here. There's stuff in here that feels influenced by like the work of Masaki Yuasa, definitely. There's a lot of different little things coming together in this that I'm seeing. But yeah, Burn Hogarth. I'm seeing that a lot in this. Like, let's just do a comparison here. Yeah, I mean, like, that's pretty much like a Burn Hogarth figure right there. That kind of spaghetti people look, which a lot of artists kind of like or hate. So in this case, he decided to like take the spaghetti people thing and make it like that's the system of how I draw everything in here. And look at that, wow, look at that really exaggerated pose right there. Like if you're not looking like some of it kind of like flattens out into like weird kind of wonky shapes and stuff. but it's still like grounded and really solid drawing. Like we know that he that Tradd Moore can draw really solidly. This is other examples of his work here. So he's definitely not a slouch by any measure, but yeah, like the Silver Surfer is pretty much just basically like the bare form of it. It's like the adventures of the Bern Hogarth figure model, basically. Look at that. That's practically almost the same, very similar pose actually. And of course, Bern Hogarth's hands and stuff. See a lot of things. Even some of Bern Hogarth's comic. You can see like how like he handles like the rhythms of like organic forms and stuff. It's pretty much like how Tradd Moore is handling stuff here. So this is like straight up Bern Hogarth, but combined with psychedelia. Definitely good to meditate on Bern Hogarth for a bit too. Oh, look at this. So these multiple arm position things. I was thinking about that. Well, first off, there's this. What does that remind you of? Hogarth has several range of motion diagrams in his books. And so a wee bit of that, I think, filtered its way into some of the visuals for some of the images that are in here. There's a Silver Surfer one in here that we were just on. Here it is. There we go. Multiple range of motion, Bern Hogarth arm right there. On that Silver Surfer arm. Oops. Yeah, I want to maybe yoink some more Bern Hogarth stuff, and I maybe for tomorrow I could make like a Bern Hogarth Tradd Moore mix in addition to other stuff. Okay, Google, stop. Oh, I do want to show you. Let's see, Tina Foreshoes. You want to show you Tina Foreshoes? Oh yeah, the number one thing that comes up when I mention Tina Foreshoes is hang on one sec. I gotta media. Here we go. It's my post on social media about the comic. Yeah, I love the poses and expressions with her. Some of these get like really wonky and fun. It's like really, it's childlike and playful, but it's also like rooted in like very heavily exaggerated. It's like Roger Dean and Peter Max meets Bern Hogarth, kind of. And there's like this childish playfulness to the style that I really enjoy. And that's like a big contrast from like, it just shows like the range that someone like Tradd Moore has. Like he has this, and then he goes from that to something more playful and childlike like that. There's the lovely berserk art that looks like looks like it's got a little bit of influence from like Japanese woodcut print art. Okay, we're gonna start another figure drawing set. This will be a set of 5 minutes. We'll have a good amount of time to really kind of meditate on the figure and play with some things. So I want people to use the principle of, let's see here, get my spirit animal, my artistic spirit animal up in the corner here. So I want people to really kind of like do like a comp thumbnail kind of small drawing to have as your first pass. So okay, Google, set timer for 20 minutes 30 seconds.
20 minutes and 30 seconds. And that's starting now.
So I want people to like do like kind of a comp thumbnail. You want to draw these a little bit smaller. Keep them really gestural. You can work out a few dimensional shapes like hips and things like that, but you want to keep things pretty gestural to get like the overall impression. This is your first read on the figure. Keep it really loose. And it can start like strategizing of what you're going to do when you draw it a second time. You can incorporate some of the ideas you have into the initial read too. If I want to do like a style emulation study of Tradmore, this would be a great image to potentially use, I think. Everything, including the car that he's sitting on. I might do that when I'm feeling more confident. I'm still kind of working with like constructive mechanic mileage. I like how like this right here, this looks like it's part of the car even though it's not. So I could use that to kind of stylize it a bit and do something cool. It's got like a like in the hands of a really good illustrator, this could be made into something special, but I'm not very good yet. But that's what I'm practicing. So anyway, that's like a little comp study. Let's zoom back a little bit and let's see what I can do now. Bring it out. So that ate up about 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So let's see what I can do, kind of emulating some of the rhythms of my spirit animal artist, Tradmore. One thing I'm going to do to emulate some of him is I'm going to include like little rings over the surface of stuff. He does that quite a bit. Part of the psychedelia, but it's also a telegraph of what direction things are moving in. I like how in some of them he consciously eliminates them it flattens out the image a little bit, but it's part of like the wonky style on purpose for some of them. It's like he could fully describe the image if he wanted to, but he leaves it out to make it more kind of playful and childlike on purpose in those. So it's not a sloppy error, it's an intended thing because this is a guy who does understand how to break the rules. That's not an excuse for us to be sloppy, especially not me at my stage. But I could still play with stuff like that for fun. So this is 1970s, so maybe really exaggerate that foot and that flared pant leg. This just exudes, yeah, I'm a 1970s movie star. Hell yeah. And I do like the contrast of light and dark in this photo. This is a very nicely composed photograph. There's a little bit of a kind of a fisheye lens effect happening on it. So I could keep going on this guy right here and play with it some more, but I think it's time to move on. It's a very vignette pose right there. But it's a very kind of clean, honest pose. So it is a vignette. So work within the, maybe try to work within the confines of it being a vignette a little bit. You could probably draw a little bit beyond what is being vignetted there, like add the rest of the limbs if you wanted to. It's up to you. But this might be a good time to do a compositional study using the framing of the vignette. Gotta zoom back a bit. I'm drawing that a little bit large because I want to do a comp thumbnail first. But yeah, as you start getting more attuned to gesture, it starts like wrapping itself up in the volume. You can see in like Trad Moore's art, like gesture and volume are kind of married together. For sure. Well, there's a lot of things that are married together in his work. There's a lot of articles I saw that proclaim Trad Moore as the best artist in comics right now. I don't know if I go that far, but it's definitely up there for sure. Try to like find your artistic spirit animal of the moment. Whatever artist is going to give you benefit to look at and study. And you don't want to have like stagnated vision on them necessarily. Some artists you can maybe meditate on for a long time potentially, especially ones with really big bodies of work. But you kind of want to bounce around and refresh your eye and go to other things too. Like I'm going to bounce from Tradmore into something else, but I think this guy, you kind of like, you definitely want to like pay attention to what artists you respond to well that will help you kind of make things click for you a bit more. And I didn't move beyond the comp study, so I'm just going to stick with this drawing for the rest of this.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Do you do still like trace over studies or?
Yeah, of course.
Not?
Yeah, that's just another tool just to kind of study and understand stuff. I might do some of that of Trad Moore, but I'm kind of like feeling really confident now. So like I'm good. Like right now, I feel like the best thing for me to do would be to do freehand. Either copy, and if I am going to do a study, it'll be a copy study. Like I'm feeling confident about doing that right now. If I feel I need to do a draw over study, I will. Usually you do a draw over study if there's something really complex that's really difficult for you to break down without doing a draw over. Huh?
Remember the head sheets we did in December?
Yeah.
It helped me a lot, like figuring out how to like simplify the face.
Mm-hmm. I would say it might be a good idea to do some draw versus a trad more. Just be aware that like he's doing a lot of stuff where there's a visual language to why he's making the decisions he is in exaggerating the figures. So there's a lot of figures where like the limbs are breaking intentionally, or the proportions are off intentionally. So you don't want to, like, you don't want to be sloppy about your understanding of proportions and stuff, but you want to understand what's being distorted and why if you study someone like him. And part of what can help is if you are going to like take a good look at someone like Tradmore, take a good long look at Bern Hogarth. Make Bern Hogarth your main spirit animal, actually, but you can. No, actually, Bern Hogarth is Bern Hogarth is like your guru master. But Tradmore is your spirit animal. Something like that. Think of it like that.
Brunhauer is now my hand spirit animal.
Yeah. Based on like what I'm seeing with like Tradmore and the direction that I definitely want to go, I think I want to dig way more into Bern Hogarth, because like I'm feeling like the sense of rhythms and stuff, and like this is helping me break down and understand the figure better and stuff. Like I'm making the mental connections with figure posing and figure drawing now that I wasn't before, thanks to seeing Tradmore's work and like me kind of making stuff and making certain things click for me. Like sometimes you see a good ass artist and then and stuff just starts to click with you after you've been struggling. But you gotta struggle. That's very important. You gotta struggle. That means like putting the effort in. So everyone keep drawing every day. Like so much of this stuff that you are struggling with now will start to click if you're putting in like 6 to 8 hours a day, maybe more, 10 hours if you can manage. On some, not every day, but like some days. And it should be productive practice that isn't necessarily, well, you should get like a good, there should be times when you kind of struggle with stuff, but it should not be stressful per se. It should be enlightening and interesting. Sometimes you do challenge yourself with some stuff, but it should be like a kind of a zen thing, and almost meditative, and at very times fun. Like I'm having a blast right now. This is fun. I'm enjoying playing with this stuff. I'm sort of deviating from Bruce Lee here to do a quick kind of figure invention study, to kind of do an inventory of my ability to read the figure. Or an exaggerated kind of Tradmore-ish figure. And I'm really enjoying myself right now. But you can see like this is like a culmination of like the depth cue stuff we were practicing last Wednesday. There's an exaggerated floor grid down below. Stuff that's further away gets smaller. There's rhythms playing against each other in 3D space and stuff. And now it's just a matter of like taking this and keep going with it. I'm gonna try to pace it so that I don't overdo it, because I feel like I'm on a good rhythm now, and I don't want to interrupt that rhythm. So we're gonna be doing more of this tomorrow. I'll be talking a little bit about how to apply some of this stuff more for storyboarding too, and animation too. But we're gonna be doing more of this because this is gold right now. Especially for my development too. That's what a lot of my classes are going to be. I'm going to be chasing the dragon. And by dragon I mean like a very Eastern dragon. More Eastern spiritual dragon. I'm going to be chasing the muse of whatever I think is going to benefit me the most, and get like the most endorphins flowing for me, and help me lift off of plateaus of things I'm struggling with. And that'll just morph into what we're doing for these classes. It's like trying to interrupt it right now by dipping too much into into something that kind of kills the momentum a bit would kind of spoil it a bit. Well, so I'll be on the lookout and figure out what to strategize about, where to go next or what to build on. All right, let's see here. Okay, Google, how much time left on timer?
5 minutes and 6 seconds remaining.
Cool, this is our last pose of this set. And we'll do another set. What time is it? 7:02. Cool. Time's flying by really fast because my endorphins are going, because I'm enjoying this. You ever notice that? Like, time is a slog when your perception of time slows down when you're stressed out. And there's evolutionary reasons for that.
Yeah, I remember my last freelance illustration job where I illustrated a children's book.
Ooh.
I hated doing it so much that every minute doing it felt like an hour. Like, it was really bad.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, I've been on animation projects like that too. And that's why I'm trying to tap into like this endorphin side of me. It's partly the reason why I'm doing this. I'm trying to build up my abilities as an artist. So like even if I get like an assignment like what you talked about, like I'll have like those chops so that I can get in that flow state even when I'm on an assignment I'm not really that interested in. Like the work that's going to come out of me is going to be tapping into that flow state because that's just in my art DNA from all the practice I put in.
Yeah, makes sense. You still have the art muscles.
Yeah. A lot of people like they get too deep into their career before they have a chance to really gel with this stuff, and I definitely did. And so that's what these practice sessions are all about for me. Like I'm trying to cultivate that side of me for when I re-enter the industry. And on that note, I just got a bunch of study materials from a French lady who runs a Japanese animation studio and does job training program stuff. And she sent me a bunch of their production material stuff for their pipeline, so that I can practice it. So that if there's room for me on either a volunteer or a paid production, because the volunteer projects are for job training for newer animators and stuff, then if there's an opportunity, then I'll have the pipeline knowledge under my belt and the production technique stuff under my belt. As coincidence would have it, the main thing they use to work in is Clip Studio. So the ridiculous amount of mileage I've been putting into Clip Studio for all these classes is gonna wind up paying off, I think. That feels really nice. I like this guy right here. It's just I didn't really go too far with this pose. I was supposed to do a comp for it, but like, let's do a reverse engineer comp maybe. Yeah, that's a good page though. Yeah, the name of the game right now is sustaining things. Like, I want to sustain what I'm doing here. Unfortunately, the fact that like the endorphins are flowing when I do this now, it makes it, and because I've hit a good stride with how I pace doing these, like I have the way I do it now is I have a warm up period of about like 3 or 4 hours in the morning, then I do a rest period, then I do another drawing period in the evening, sometimes after a nap. And what's cool about after the nap, when I come back, like the stuff that I practice in the morning sort of encodes itself in my brain a little bit for the nap.
Yeah, I really recommend
Power
taking
naps.
Yeah, power
Okay.
naps. That's a cool name.
Okay, Google. Okay, Google, stop. I think power naps are kind of stupid. That sounds like something a fucking narcissistic boomer came up with in the 80s. Like, fuck that. It's just a nap. Let's take a siesta. Like, Mexican day laborers have the right.
term power nap is specifically like a 5 or 10 minute nap. That's really what it's supposed to be.
Why would you take a 5-minute nap?
Because sometimes you're at your desk at work and it's just like, if I go to sleep for just a very small period of time and get up, no one will notice.
Mexican day laborers have the right idea of
nap.
Mexican day laborers have the right, or just Mexican and Spanish culture in general has the right idea of siestas and stuff. Like, that's something that I think it should be a part of American culture. And it should be a right of workers to be able to take nap breaks and things like that. And go home during your lunch break, for that matter, and take a 2-hour lunch and shit. Come on. There's a lot of countries where that's the norm. And it leads to actually a lot more productive, less stressed out workplace, because like in the rush to try to extract more productivity labor out of the workforce, like workplaces have become stressful hellholes, because like they just see the people as numbers in a system and not like human beings with complicated needs and body needs and stuff. So I'd hope that, like, especially in the wake of like what happened with everyone working from home during COVID, there's a lot of people that have like kind of had to deal with like more stress because of COVID and stuff. But I think like people learning about how like less stressful it is to have the ability to if I just want to take a nap between working on like this thing for my client or something, I can do that, make my own hours and stuff. I can break up how much I work on this during the day and have more break time to do some things and during certain hours and stuff, and make my own time. Like that's like the one of the very few silver linings to the entire mess that is the COVID fallout from COVID and the labor crisis around it. I think I meant to take a break here, but I just wound up drawing more poses. So let's just keep going with this. We'll take a break in a bit.
You're in a rampage.
Yeah. I mean, I was feeling it. I just felt I had to draw. Of course, this isn't terribly exaggerated because I was kind of autopiloting it. Let's pause it on there. Oh. Well, how about I rewind it, and then we can just leave it there. It's cool. When the image... Okay, Google, set timer for 5 minutes.
5 minutes, and we're starting now.
Now might be a good time to stand up and stretch and hydrate a bit. Enough room to put this guy in the last one. Maybe if I shrink it. Let's do that. And then shrink Bruce down a bit. So something I'm probably going to want to try experimenting with more is some more kind of material and line variation. I'm going to maybe look at some other people how they make use of other kind of lines and line strength in Clip Studio. So maybe I can get more, because currently with the way I'm kind of drawing is like I'm just mainly using the Real G pen because it's just the one that kind of stuck with me a bit. But I want to see if maybe there's some other stuff that might give a better feel for certain things. I've used some other ones in the past. That, and there might be like a certain kind of a certain approach I can probably take using even the Real G pen. Like maybe it can be, I don't know, like, let's go through these a little bit. Maybe add some darkening stuff here and there to make certain parts of it pop. This is really close to us, so maybe make that pop a little bit more at the front. So you can tell I'm like wrestling with kind of the right things, but I'm still a little uncertain. So this figure is kind of lacking in confidence compared to like where I want to go. But it's getting there. Just gotta keep practicing. But yeah, you can do stuff like this between like breaks. Like you can maybe like add in like darker areas of tone to make stuff pop. Like, I don't know, like fill in this in here, for example. I kind of feel like this pose would be a good opportunity to try like a Robert Valley kind of stylization. I'll pause it on Bruce. We're about ready to come back from the break. I'm gonna do a little bit of break spillover, so we're gonna set timer for 25 minutes. Okay, Google, set timer for 25 minutes.
Done. 25 minutes added to your timer.
So I'm gonna consider this kind of break time spillover because I want to maybe go through these to play with them a bit. Because this might give me some ideas for how to approach adding some more of this stuff kind of more confidently built in to the shape language and the line language I use when I'm doing the sketches. Just want to see how stuff reads when I do this or that. Bruce was one hell of a good-looking dude.
Yep.
He can also break you entirely with a 1-inch punch.
Yeah, but he won't because he's not that kind of a dude. He's a...
No, that's what I appreciate about him. He respects martial arts and everything it stands for.
Yeah. So there's that kind of thing of like, who would win in a fight, Superman or Goku? And the simple answer is, well, they might spar, but they wouldn't fight. Because they wouldn't like fight to the death or anything. They'd like do a tournament fight or something, maybe.
Goku and Vegeta might fight, though.
Goku and Vegeta might fight. Might.
Sorry, Superman and Vegeta.
Yeah, probably.
Goku and Vegeta might fight.
Yeah, they might.
I don't see that happening at all. No.
Yeah, well, I mean, not lately.
Like the 80s.
But like Vegeta's getting cock-blocked from fighting Goku for years because he looks up and Vegeta's a way better fucking father than Goku, so he's defeated Goku at fatherhood. Okay.
Okay, Piccolo is a better father than Goku. Let's get that straight.
And that's yeah.
I think it's better to say that Goku is a worse father than Vegeta, but Vegeta isn't like an awesome father. I think.
I don't think Goku.
No, he seems to be more responsible than Goku in most cases.
I don't think Goku is necessarily a bad father. It's just he's kind of. Well, he's not very. He is not very responsible, I would say, because he's just focused on fighting. He's like that's just his thing. It's like those artist dad. He's like a manga artist dad who like focuses entirely on making this manga stuff and barely sees his kid, or something. I think that might have been how the relationship might have been slightly modeled. Alright, it's about to change pose. Okay, Google, add 30 seconds to timer.
Done. 30 seconds added to your 25-minute timer. You've got 21 minutes remaining.
Look at how wild this pose is too. Like the legs. And the arms and the fingers and everything.
So I'm confused. Are we on break or are we still going?
We kind of did a spillover break. Like that was break. But I was like still drawing. So now we're back on this, and this is like officially the start of the next set. Yeah, for anyone who's just joining in the Twitch chat, I wish that was my art on the upper right there, but that is my artistic spirit animal right now, Trad Moore. Really fucking awesome artist. He's up there in the corner for me to kind of learn from. You want to find your artistic spirit animal, and that can change from time to time, but I love how he plays with organic shapes and like marries it with like figure drawing knowledge and stuff of like Bern Hogarth. It's fun. I think tomorrow definitely we should definitely like pile on the Bern Hogarth. I'll make like a Trad Moore / athletic dynamic poses / Bern Hogarth drawing mix for tomorrow, I think. Maybe slip in some Aeon Flux in there too. A little bit of Peter Chung. Bring this down a little bit. Wait, no. Yeah, right here. Okay. I'm gonna start doing some detours again because I think I'm starting to like get too slavish to the pose, and I want to get kind of more in tune with my figure invention, my exaggeration. Yeah, like so much of this stuff like just starts to click. Just the more you do it, like that, it starts to weave its way into the muscle memory. Like stuff starts to just kind of flow together more. That's just the consequence of practicing lots. The secret sauce is being relentless about your practice, but relentless in a way that you can maintain it and keep at it. Like you want to plan for long term. Like if you can put in around 6 to 8 hours of practice a day. You want to aim to be able to do that over the span of like several months or like a year or something. Years. That's what I'm doing. I'm trying to like pace up my practice so I don't overdo it and burn out. And that's what's been really fun about like just doing those deep dives of inspirational material. I've been having a huge blast in the Discord stuff, like I've been saying. So anyone who's here now, definitely start showing up for the off-stream Discord stuff, because it's a time for you to just kind of I often put on like stuff to study, and I put on interesting, cool things to share. People are also free to like talk and share stuff then too. The vibe, I like the vibe and the temperature that things are right now on my Discord. Like it's not too rowdy. Everyone's pretty focused. Like Ethan's server is great, but it can be like really rowdy sometimes. And get a little bit too bantery, you know?
I think the word you're looking for is chaos.
Yeah, it does. It does.
I
But
think the word you're looking for is also having too many miners in your server.
yeah. Well, there's that here too a little bit. I mean, there's some kids here. Not a lot, but yeah, this is I do like where things are going with this, and I kind of feel a little bit more responsible for like directing what we're doing a little bit more here than on that server, and I can be more in control of it, and more people are on the same page with me with what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, I used to go into Ethan Becker's server more and check your
I
studies and your drawings, but lately I haven't gone in there as much.
What, mine?
No, the Ethan Becker's Discord.
Oh yeah.
Your studies section.
I may actually start using the server more because there's a lot of like sub channels and stuff where they do lots of critique and feedback. I might actually start using those more. Like I've kind of had to like focus on my own. I've had to kind of get my own shit in order before I can really step out with that. But I think I might do that a little bit more now. Like I actually have been interacting more with the server lately. I've been like this last week. I was using the Astropug body split technique to be both in here on my server, so I can keep the vibe of my server going. And I can also dive into my server if I don't really quite like the vibe of the Ethan server at the of the voice of how the voice channel is at the moment or something. Well, another thing I do like about the server is like the people here who are coming to hang like for my shit. They're interested in what I have to share. So I try to share stuff that's like stimulating to me, so to stimulate them, and things that I think would be valuable to know and understand, and so on. And it's really fun. I want to definitely play some. I want to definitely play some. I want to do like basically like cinema study, like college cinema studies stuff in here, kind of where we play some like classic art cinema film, like some French New Wave films or Kenneth Anger films and stuff sometime, because I think it'd be really cool for people to get exposed to some of those. You can get a lot of creative juice from really good art cinema, like some Criterion Collection art house cinema type stuff we can play, or some shitty B movies that are still good to watch for inspiration and fun.
You mean like the Super Mario Super movie?
Sure. You can watch. I actually think I'd love to see a movie like basically like the Detective Pikachu movie was basically a Super Mario's a Super Mario movie done right. Combined with a bit of Roger Rabbit, I would say.
In defense of the Super Mario Brothers movie, they did a lot with what was literally just run to the left and jump at the time.
Yeah, no, there was more mythos and stuff. There was the Toei. Remember, like, so Mario's look and feel was created, and a lot of his style was created by several Toei animators that joined Nintendo. Like, so like Toei was like a studio that tried to be like the Disney of Japan. Their logo is that kind of Puss in Boots looking character, or their logo is like their Puss in Boots character from one of their big hit classic anime movies. Toei, yeah. We did the Toei animation test of the boy with the mallet in here.
I remember that was like what, 2 months ago?
Yeah, we'll definitely do it again. When we go back to animation again, we'll definitely do that again. I'll be able to handle stuff like that better now that my draftsmanship and my gesture drawing is improving. But yeah, like, where was I going with this? So what was it? Why did I bring up Toei? I kind of lost track of what I was talking about.
Sorry, I'm not keeping track either. I literally said,
I
"What if
lost track.
Goku fought Vegeta?" So I'm not 100% here.
I totally lost track of. I might be getting a little bit exhausted. What was I talking about?
I don't know. We went on the track of the Mario Bros. Movie, then we flipped to
Yeah,
Toei.
that's it. Yeah. I was talking about Nintendo, and
Shitty B movies that are
no
fun.
wonder I lost track of what I was talking about. Jesus. No, I'm gonna be looking into like upgrading the server so we can have an opt-in section for movie night. We actually do have an adults only art nude study section, which currently now I have to manually add people to, so I don't think that's gonna be in a huge amount of use just yet, because I think it would be better if people can opt into it, and we'll just have to use the honor system on that. I'm gonna make I have a channel where people can state their age. When you sign up for the adults only section, please state your age. Please do not lie, and please do not join the adult section if you are under 18. 18 or over, please. The adults only section is it's not for pornography, although like I guess some would be okay, fine. Just don't go crazy with it.
It hasn't really taken off yet because I feel like people don't really know where the line is, so they don't know what they can upload or what or not.
I think like the line should be like, just share really cool art, and I don't care if it's a little pornographic and stuff. And erotica that's not like super explicitly pornographic is fine. Just try to use your own judgment, I guess. I'm not gonna clamp down on people. I mean, like, I'll try to kind of I'm gonna give people a little bit of more freedom to kind of post stuff, and then I'll try to kind of just make a judgment call of where I think the cutoff would be. But I'm not really sure where that is right now. But for now, like art nudes, sure. Erotica, sure. Pornography, some is okay, but some is okay, but like, let's not get excessive with it. Like the lion's share of what we should be doing is like tasteful art nudes. And the reason why I'm allowing some pornography is like some pornographic imagery is really well drawn and worth kind of learning from a little bit. That, and I don't want to bar non-safe for work artists from. Yeah, I might make a rule like I might like make a section that's explicitly for if you're a non-safe for work artist, you can share your work or something. And that would be like an anything goes there, as long as it's not like sexual depictions of children and minors. No, that's a big no for the server, no matter what. That's a major cutoff point right there. So if you notice for this pose right here, I'm kind of low-key exaggerating right now. Like another approach to exaggerating is to take the pose and change it. So you can design your own pose, kind of riffing off of what you're seeing. I'm not really going in with this with like this is like kind of like, this is sort of low energy exaggeration where I'm just sort of playing with shapes that kind of feel good and loosening up and stuff. Changing the positions of the arms and just trying to play with it, so on. And then I'm combining it with a little bit of the Tradmore stuff I'm glancing at. So I'm doing like a combo figure invention experiment, sort of riffing on what Bruce Lee's doing. Yeah, these feel really fun to do. I want to keep rolling with this for sure. So I think one of the bigger keys to how successful things have been lately with the progression we're having is I'm trying not to do too much and I'm trying to keep it focused. And then I give myself a lot of freedom to go down rabbit holes of study and do that organically. Like trying to formally plan stuff out. Like you want some, so you have like some consistency you can stick to with your study efforts, but I think I'm getting like way more value right now out of keeping it really flexible.
Sometimes you need to allow yourself to be guided by your interest and not your schedule.
Yeah, exactly. But I kind of needed to explore and figure out what the push and pull on that is, because like if you just chase your entrance, you can procrastinate on what you need to be studying and practicing, you know. But I'm finding a good rhythm now of how that stuff kind of jigsaw fits together. I'm playing with just randomly changing the pose. There's not a particular reason for this. Sometimes like you want to go, like a lot of times when you are exaggerating or making a pose, you're trying to make a specific statement. But in my case, I'm just playing with the mechanics and seeing what happens when I change limbs right now. Trying to increase my fluency, so like when I do have an idea that I want to run with, I can have the dexterity and the shape language parts of my brain, the visual language parts of my brains to like read it and break it down and construct it. Okay, Google, how much time left on timer?
There's 3 minutes and 8 seconds to go.
Cool, just keep going with this then. Yeah, keep your sketches organic and your sketching and study efforts organic, and just have a good mix of fun and constructive practice. Look for the juice. Find the juice of like you want to struggle and put the effort in, but you also want to look for the juice. You need to, in order to get the juice, you need to struggle, and then you add the juice. By juice, I mean that's like the special secret sauce that pushes what you're trying to do and helps you find the fun and the interest in what you want to do with this stuff. In my case, I found the juice by finding my artistic spirit animal for the moment of Trad Moore there on the upper right. Along with other stuff I was looking at this week, which like now like buzzing around in my head are all kinds of rhythms and ideas and stuff to play with and attitudes and stuff. My head is not empty right now because I looked at stuff that was fun and interesting for me. Like I have a little bit of the juice going. So it isn't just about like rote figure practice and like, oh, I got to do this. I I got to do this like rote figure practice over and over again before I step into doing something fun. No, you combine the two. You struggle. Struggle and you keep trying to get those drills in under your belt. And then you take a step back, you look at something to get juiced with. Because you did the struggling, now you can like read. Like for example, when that's why I responded so well to Trad Moore, because I've been struggling. Like struggling. By struggle I mean like healthy, invigorating practice in the right subject I needed to be focusing on. Like getting the right artistic workout and struggling with these things that I'm trying to learn and get better at. Productive struggling, not like stressful struggling. Okay, Google, stop. And then because I did that, like my visual language, my artistic third eye was opened up to be able to be receptive to somebody like Trad Moore when I run across him. And so now I can use him as something to play off of to complement things that are already there for me. Like there's certain rhythms and stuff that are in Trad Moore's work that I'm seeing. There's things that I can hook into. And then in addition to that, there's other stuff like I looked at the auteur, and there's lots of like really funny, experimental, wild, broken, wonky, super exaggerated, crazy, offensive, deliberately offensive attitude, playful stuff that adds further juice. And looking at like Anne Flux and Peter Chung stuff, seeing him talk about animation and stuff that add further juice. And then weirdly, like looking at we actually, like before class, we looked at some animation history stuff with Klasky Supo and their rise and fall, and some that actually like we looked into that because like Peter Chung directed the Rugrats pilot, but it was still fun to kind of look at Nickelodeon and Rugrats animation history a little bit and kind of think about animation history, like what they did right, what they did wrong, and stuff. A little bit.
The constant question of how many of those stories were actually true from the writer's room.
Yeah.
Like just how many of those situations of the argument with their partners was that actually in the show? How much that was actually true?
Yeah. Yeah, there's like a lot of stuff like when winds up in YouTube videos like that are rumors in the animation industry that sometimes are not true. It's like there's a mix. There's a lot of stories that never get told that are just like insider knowledge in the animation industry, and then there's a lot of stuff that is true, and then there's a lot of stuff that's just fucking made up or fan rumors and shit. I hope that Argent Avis, I hope you don't think that the upper right, what's up on the upper right here is my art. I wish this was my art. This is Trad Moore, who is my artistic muse right now. My spirit animal. I like the term spirit animal. My art spirit animal. Speaking of spirit animal, I did a kind of a spirit animal drawing earlier today. Let's see here. Let's take a look at what I did earlier. Okay, Google, set timer for 5 minutes.
5 minutes, starting now.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Argent Avis. I'm trying to get better. Like, hopefully I can get way more polished stuff. So anyway, this was a live nude figure pose. Don't worry, there's no nipples in this. This is probably the closest thing to furry art that I've done in a while, right here. It's kind of like fox spirit, kind of a kami wolf, wolf or fox character. And then there's like this right here. So there's this Dryad sniper idea I have for that story I'm developing of like her tree is her sniper rifle and stuff. So I decided, but she's kind of like a Pan's Labyrinth fawn Dryad. So for this pose right here on this figure drawing, I've tried to play a little bit with that. So it's kind of playing with some of the Pan's Labyrinth, like plant. Part of their body is kind of plant and tree root and stuff. This is just fun figure invention. I do really like where this is going with Stab the Goblin right here. The Dryad sniper that I'm developing, her name would be Shoot. So we got Stab, we got Shoot, we got Smother, we got Strangle. These are the names of the characters for the story idea I have. Smash. Smash is a vampire giant. Like a 30 or 50 foot tall giant that pulls like a Goya Saturn devouring his sons on like entire villages and stuff. The name of the story that I'm developing is called Violence Quest, and it's gonna be ridiculously over the top, partly parody fantasy, with think like kind of Super Jail, but with like in a fantasy setting, a little bit. And it's an opportunity to do a lot of lampoons of things. This is for a different story idea right here that's on screen right now. I have some other art of that. Here, let me show that. There's a companion character to this boy that I was doing sketches of somewhere here. Yeah, this is his counterpart / friend right here. This little hedgehog. Be kind of developing a villain character. Some other stuff of me trying to mess with Stab. There's some other ideas for Stab. I have the idea of him being very, very sure-footed. He's got kind of a mutant goblin where I'm going with, where he's got kind of like frog or toad abilities, like tree frog abilities, where he can stick to surfaces and stuff. And I want to kind of like do like an aura, sort of like his main like signature attack, aside from like sticking to surfaces on things, is like hundreds and hundreds of knife blows in the same spot. And I'm thinking of like, he just has like supernaturally well-developed triceps or something like that. He's able to make like really ridiculously quick stabs. So like you could maybe like stab through like a hard diamond or something like that with the amount of times he strikes. I'm playing with the idea of like he either he's a magical blade or it's part of like his abilities, but he can throw knives about as fast as like a bullet travels. For the setting, I'm kind of playing with the idea of making it a fantasy sci-fi setting, so it's kind of like Masters of the Universe a little bit. So there might be guns and stuff. And here's me kind of playing with some weird potential villains. I really kind of, not to knock on like waifus, like fine, more power to you if you enjoy that, but I'm really irritated by same face anime waifus and stuff, so I made like these three kind of horrible magical girls that could be potential villains for the stories. They would be okay Google, stop. So they're kind of the three witches motif a little bit. This character is loosely inspired by, if you've ever seen the Dario Argento movie Suspiria, she's got these kind of pins in her eyes, or eye sockets, and she collects people's eyes to use this kind of like eye lasers and spell casting things floating around her. This one's kind of a yandere. This one's slightly kind of a parody of the stupid ass Yandere simulator game thing. She's just like a super strong, super fast, kind of yandere stereotype, taken to a ridiculous extreme, where she just doesn't waste any time with, like, when she sees a senpai that she wants to have, she just jumps right into them and rips them their guts and head out and stuff. And this is the guy's colon and large intestine right here, by the way. Yeah, and this one right here is a cat girl. It's like a disgusting mutant abomination, basically. But like she has these kind of like giant sort of like parasitic creatures that are basically like giant Toxoplasmosis gondii, which is that parasite that's in cat shit that can infect people, and it makes like mice docile towards cats, so cats can attack them easier and hunt them easier and stuff if mice come into contact with cat feces. So she can infect people with these little parasites. If you get infected by one of them, you're not coming back. Like, your brain is basically rotted, and you're basically like a drooling brain damaged zombie who kind of sees her as an adorable little cat girl, basically. Anyway, this is Stab having the this is Stab the Goblin having the reaction that any sensible person would to these horrible like hell waifus. Oh, and I let me see if I can have. We'll go back to another set, but yeah, I had the idea of like at some point Stab like when he defeats one of them or so. I really like how this one came out. When I play with things more, like if I do like a comic with him, or if I do like storyboarding composition panels, I like the idea of like framing composition. So there's a lot of things where like there would be a lot of moments where like a story is happening, and like the central story might be like Stab might not be involved too much in the central story of what's happening, but he might intervene at some point. So then he can be on the periphery in the compositions, crawling and lurking around on surfaces or under things. But anyway, yeah, like I had the idea of like if you ever seen like the end of The Good, the Bad, the Ugly, when Clint Eastwood shoots the guy into the grave and then shoots his hat into the grave, I kind of want a moment like that when he defeats like some of the waifus or something, where they just fall into some trash or something. Your waifu is trash, basically. Anyway, yeah, we're going to get back to another set. So these are really fun, and I'm definitely feeling it tonight. And that's just a matter of me putting in that regular practice and pacing it right, and I'm building on enjoying it and stuff, and pacing it. So I give myself time to play and have fun and step away from art too. If I'm putting in 6 to 8 hours, that means I have several hours that I can play, that I can do whatever I want with too. Yeah, don't worry about that right now. But yeah, let's start a new drawing set. Let's maybe start with this pose right here. So this is another vignette pose. But this is a pretty good one to do kind of like an observation of the arms and stuff. Exaggeration there. So, okay, Google, set timer for 20 minutes, 30 seconds.
20 minutes and 30 seconds. Starting now.
I do believe this will be our last set for this evening. But this has been very fun. If you're in the Discord, or if you want to join the Discord, here, let me put the Discord link in chat. We're going to go watch WandaVision. The latest episode of WandaVision after this. We'll probably watch some other things this evening too. There's little strategies that I've been finding that have been helping me improve my skills, and one of them is after these classes, like normally I'd like shut down the stream and I'd go do something else and I'd waste some time browsing the internet or something like that, or I'd just like veg out or something like that. But instead of doing that, what I've been doing lately is I stick around in my Discord, and other people have too, and I put on something fun or interesting. What happens is like I start getting the bug to draw again, and I just start sketching freely, or I start doing little comp studies and things like that, and I wind up getting way more drawing in like than I realized I had energy for. And so yeah, I would encourage people after the stream is over to stick around, join the Discord voice channel. We will watch WandaVision together. I'll be sharing this with you all. The latest episode of WandaVision. And another film that I've been meaning to screen, and I'll probably maybe screen it tomorrow after yeah, I think tomorrow would be a good time to screen it. Frank and Ollie. I want to get as many people to see that film as possible. Maybe tomorrow we'll do it. There might be something else I have in mind that might be cooler to put on after. Depends like I said, like it depends what our vibe is. Oh, also there's a fan music video that I maybe there's a fan music video I want to play at the end of the stream. I might restart the stream at the very end so I can play so I can share a couple things I found. The reason why I do that is like I can have the cutoff point when I upload later. I don't have to trim the video out or whatever because of the copyright shit in it. When I upload it to YouTube. But there's like a couple fan-made music videos. One of them that has like a big nice mashup of some nice cinema reference. It was for a song that I had been vibing to. Because I always look for musical influence to pull from for like the artistic ideas I'm trying to develop. Like I try to picture like this could potentially be like a soundtrack that might be used like if this was like a TV show or something or an animated short. And it also helps you kind of, even if you wouldn't necessarily use it for that, it can help you kind of find explore some moods or some tone you want to play with, or find a character or something. But anyway, somebody made a fan music video for that song, which to a T like fit the themes that I want to go for with the story I'm developing for Violence Quest. It's like somebody mishmashed a bunch of thematic elements together that just happened to line up perfectly with like almost like somebody gathered a bunch of reference for me and made a music video back in like 2014 or something, or 2016. A fan music video for the track. I better download that in case it gets deleted because it's really good. You can see my wonky anatomy knowledge is coming into play here. I'm just observationally putting stuff in. Yeah, that's what's cool. Like I've studied anatomy before, so like some of this is like I'm being able to physically see the anatomy on Bruce Lee's body kind of helps because he's a dude's a not walking anatomy study. And then like this is a big contrast here of his body is very much in shadow. I'm gonna see if I can try to like do some quick comp things of like really pushing exaggeration. Maybe I can do some of that on this. Let's take a peek at the auteur again. Here. There he is. That giant fucking face. I kind of want to leave him around and maybe just like have him up with no explanation tomorrow for the people that didn't make it today. It's like, what the fuck is that? Or I just start the stream and it's just that. Just like that image like zoomed in. So all you just see is that. Kind of losing my three-dimensionality sense here a little bit, but let's play with it a bit more. We got more time. I think you could probably lean over more a bit. I'm sort of piecemealing this up a bit more than I should. Let's see what I can do to kind of triage it and maybe push it and play with it a bit more. I think I'm gonna have to make the cardinal sin cheat of dragging and repositioning things a bit, but that might help a bit. Let's do that, maybe lean it a bit. But yeah, the guy who directed Thor Ragnarok and Jojo Rabbit is well, he's making a film based on he's making a feature film based on this guy on my Twitch stream. The giant fucking face there. Sorry about that. I'll come back to us. Yeah, he's making a film based on that the comic, that series, the auteur.
I thought you meant Bruce Lee for a second. I was very confused.
No. Which I do recommend checking out, is a very, very sick and twisted series with like a lot of highly offensive stuff in it. But it's very enjoyable. I mean, so keep in mind when you're making art, you do not have to have the morals of the characters you're writing about, or even have like internal logic of the morality of the world that you're making. There's a lot of, especially young adult authors, I've noticed, that try to be really preachy, or people who are a fan of young adult novels and stuff. They forget that you're, like, when you're writing, like, you can make up your own logic for how the world works, its own internal logic. You're not beating people over the head. You're not necessarily beating people over the head with, this is the way things are supposed to be. This is my political tract in novel form or whatever. And like, you can bring politics into your work. I mean, sure. But I mean, like, I think that fiction can potentially suffer a lot from trying to make like things too didactically preachy. Because it speaks more to trying to hammer in an ideology than trying to speak to the complexities of human experience, or even your personal emotional honesty, your reaction to something.
Yeah,
that doesn't filter. Yeah, that doesn't filter through an ideology. You know.
It becomes like the Ben Shapiro book, you know.
Ugh. Yeah.
Where there's barely any coherent story. Like every page is just him trying to
hammer like a dumb political point. And that same shit happens with liberals also. Like when it gets when it gets too yeah, it gets too preachy. Certain kinds of it really depends. Like, I mean, it's okay to like make like, politically charged work. Upton Sinclair's The Jungle. It's a fantastic example of that. And sometimes there is a very visceral. It does come down to emotional honesty because like Upton Sinclair was like genuinely emotionally charged about what he was writing about and that, and you can feel that when you're reading it. He was like really empathizing with the people he was with the fictional people he was writing about and that. So this is me right now, kind of like I'm not really copying the Silver Surfer pose, but I'm kind of riffing on some of it and repositioning it a bit. Just kind of like vibing with some of the drawing elements that my spirit animal Trad Moore has going on there. Which is a shame because that's a really fantastic Bruce Lee pose right there, and I could have been doing more with that, but it'll come up again. I'm gonna run with this because it feels pretty good to go with this right now. Look at that. You can see like excellent example of exaggeration. Look at how he bent Silver Surfer's surfboard. Like everything's kind of bent and exaggerate. Like everything has like kind of bendy flow to it and stuff. I wanted to do that because if you notice, like on this Bruce Lee pose, I was really these last few I really started to stiffen up a bit. But now I can connect with my spirit animal, Trad Moore, and vibe, and pull ideas from or pull rhythms from him to kind of mess with. Speaking of that stupid ass Ben Shapiro book, if you want to see what we're talking or hear what we're talking about, there's a podcast. There's a really funny political comedy podcast to listen to called Chapo Trap House, and they did a really funny reading of the stupid ass Ben Shapiro book. I've heard
that one.
Yeah, I think you can find the episode on I think the full episode is on it's on their
it's on YouTube,
yeah, it's on Spotify and stuff, but you can find it easily on YouTube. Just Google like Chapo Trap House Ben Shapiro book or something. it's fucking hilariously bad, and they do like a dramatized reading of passages from it, and it's just yeah.
Yeah, it's really good.
Well, their reading of it is good, but not the book. The book is horrible.
Oh, the book is awful.
Yes, but I mean that's just like they read it for the same reason you like watch Tommy Wiseau's The Room, or they actually watch and talk about a lot of films that are about as bad as that book on the show. They actually talked about a really terrible. No, they talked about a movie that Ben Shapiro just produced. That was like that school shooting movie.
Oh my god!
Yeah, he produced a movie about fucking school shooting. You know, it is basically Die Hard but school shooting.
Oh no! How
yeah,
keep getting jobs.
Well, they made their own ecosystem basically. that was part of the point. They
We're going outside the Hollywood system.
they're they're just making their own shitty, trashy, right-wing propaganda movies and stuff. And it's about as bad as you would expect.
Like, is it like funny bad or just bad?
Kind of both. From the Chapo guy's description of the film, they actually did enjoy the film, but not in the way the creators intended. It's a lot of like really bizarre, like this is not how people would behave in this situation for this film that is trying to, whose central conceit is like this is like what would you do if you were in this situation. Right now, I'm kind of vibing with figure invention because that's like that's where I'm going with the stuff right now. I've done my share of figure drawing today, from the Glenn Pilpu now to the other poses we did earlier. So I'm rolling with figure drawing. Like I feel like doing figure drawing from these poses would stiffen me up a bit. But at some point I can run back to referencing figure poses, and I'll be doing more of that tomorrow. We'll be doing more tomorrow. Like, you want to keep mentally flexible with this stuff, because it isn't just like about copying the poses, it's also about like kind of learning how to play with them and turn them into visual language and stuff. In the case of like, we do a lot of these time poses, then I tend to get like jaded eye vision to them a bit. But I noticed today when I was in the Glenn Vilpu thing, the Glenn Vilpu live stream, watching it, like I started tapping into muscle memory of really zeroing in on what the model's doing in my figure drawing classes and stuff, and like the live figure drawing classes I've taken in the past. So I think one of the things I want to tap into is I want to find some more of that juice to go with. I want to see if I can find more time model sessions that tap into that frame of thinking, where I don't get jaded to what I'm seeing the model do and stiffen up. Watching Glenn Vilpu live somehow, like I kind of feel like I wouldn't get the same effect if I watched a pre-recorded broadcast. I want to see if I can find more stuff like this, more like figure drawn live stream things. I think New Masters Academy, if you sign up for the pay site or something, they do sessions like, they might do sessions like that regular. The one that was with Glenn this morning was free, and they do that every Friday morning. And they announce it through the New Masters Academy Discord, and they pinged people. That's how I have the server unmuted to ping me about events like that. So, oh, that's the other thing, folks. If you're here, I want to direct your attention to a few things. Very important. So, well, first off, we have a new adults only section in the Discord. That is right down Art Nude Study Channel. You can request access here, but we'll gradually start adding people over time to this, especially if we start doing Art Nude's reference. If you see us sitting in here, like this channel should be visible. If you see us sitting in here, DM me and I can add you. But we're going to eventually, okay, we'll stop. But we're eventually going to be like automating your ability to opt in there. So let's see here. Oh yeah, let's take a look at people's work real quick. I'm not going to go hugely in depth here because I kind of want to move from this to a couple other things before we shut the stream down. Let's just take a quick glance at folks. Let's get kind of an overview of what people are doing. Yeah. Value's getting some good value out of these poses, I would say. And I like how you're rekindling some previous stuff we've gone over in previous weeks too. Yeah, just everyone keep at it. I mean, this stuff builds. There's no, I mean, like your art muscle builds over time, and you've just got to ramp up over time your ability to pace yourself without burning out, and figure out how you learn. So I'm figuring out how I learn, and I talked. Oh, these are nice, actually. It looks like you did like kind of like a little sequence here, like trying to kind of like change the position of the. This is actually nice. Were you using an image sequence for these? Rabbits?
No, I was just kind of moving around a little bit.
Yeah, keep doing that. Keep doing that, because that helps you kind of wrap your head around how this stuff moves through space, and yeah, that helps you think about this three-dimensionally. This is good. Keep doing this. I want you to keep running with doing that. That is really good. This is a jump up from your previous stuff you posted here. Yeah, you get a watermelon for that. Now you get now you know what you get? You get borked out. You get a bork of approval, a magical bork of approval from
yeah, I just kept redrawing the kind of the same pose and just kind of kept shifting it a little bit every single time, trying to get it to move a little bit.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's also thinking about like an animator or a comic artist or whatever else, storyboard artist. Yeah, Orf. There's Tina Four Shoes.
Now, just for the record, is this what you're trying to push me towards when you say just try to focus more on the line of action, or am I still...
Yeah, because I want you to well, I want you to focus on the line of action, but I want you to think about the line of action as moving and moving through three-dimensional space, which you were doing here, and you were also thinking about this fourth dimensionally too, it looks like, which is good. I want you to keep running with that. You got a little bit too caught up, I think, into kind of like anatomy that you don't quite understand yet. And your 3D forms, I think you need to do some 3D box drills and things like that to kind of work on that, and that'll kind of build into your ability to mass in volume the characters and stuff. But this is good. If you're going to zero in and focus your studies right now, I would double down on this, because this is if you get fluent and regular with doing this, this is something you can. That will help you with all that other stuff when you get to it, because like you combine that with understanding of volume and 3D shape, and when you start understanding anatomy a little bit more, like this will help you drive that basically. So keep doubling down on this, I would say, for at least for now. That'd be my point of view. Yeah, we have a bunch of team. I kind of fangirled out, and I made a bunch of Tina Four Shoes emojis for our Discord. Oh, I also made an Owl House one of King. Here, let me see if I can get all the Tina ones. I made several Tina ones. I think that's all the Tina ones. There's Tina crying there. But here's the Owl House one. Owl House, 2 of them actually. Wait, oop. Yeah, we binge watched Owl House this week. So that's now a companion to Orf. Yeah. Anyway, so I wanted to show. Oh yeah, but before we restart the stream, I want to draw people's attention to the Super Space Cadet sector. If you want to be in on the study sessions we have and like other things, because we're going to be doing an awful lot of study and other things. There's a special opt-in role which you can opt in and out of by clicking this little thing right here. It's explained here what this is, but basically this is a special role that makes normally your name is orange when you join the server. You're in the Space Cadets category, but like the neon green names are people in the Super Space Cadets category, which I ping, like I only ping like I try to only ping at most once or twice a day, tops, the Space Cadets role to kind of cut down on ping fatigue, so people won't have to server mute here. But this is an opt-in role for me pinging people more often if like I want to bring people in for like a quick impromptu study session in the Discord or things like that. So or like we're watching movies and stuff. In the future, I'm gonna make special category roles for people to opt in for figure drawing time post session stuff specifically, or study session stuff specifically, or game night stuff, or movie night stuff, whatever we need. In order, when I do that, there's a paid version of the Me6 bot that I need to kind of sign up before in order to add those opt-in roles for that. But I just wanted to direct people's attention to the Super Space Cadets so we can get more people to sign up for that who want to sign up for that. So we get more people involved in here. We've been having a pretty good large number of people coming to the regular drawing and study hangouts stuff too. So it's been really great. But let's see here. Is there anything else? I think that was it. I'm gonna restart the stream. And then I got one or two things I want to show on the stream real quick for you guys. So let's see here. Then I got one or two things I want to show you guys, like from YouTube or whatever. We'll just end on this image right here. There we go. That's lovely. But yeah, that's the auteur. Really offensive, but really funny gonzo comic book that I do recommend if you can vibe with this kind of weird-ass humor. So we'll just end on this wonderful image for the stream. Thank you all. Well, no, we're not ending the stream. We're restarting the stream. So we'll just restart the stream.